Hi, I'm Eric Davis, and this is the deep dive on our damping handle. Arguably one of the most interesting aspects of the Tango 360 system, but it has served a purpose for my kitchen cabinets when I made them, and then I realized it could be well served in other areas. So I first want to just say, you can see it here, the spring, spherical bearing spring is allowing us to receive strokes, oscillations, and rotations simultaneously. It's a 30-degree pitch on each side. If you go way far down or to the left or right, the mechanism will reach a limit. So one of the reasons that we are floating with this, so when in operation, I'll show it to you in a minute, you're not ever trying to force it down or force it up or anything like that. You're trying to really kind of just dance with it, try to keep it in motion and as well at the proper speed. The next portion here is the wheelbase, and the wheelbase was derived solely from the seam roller. And when I talk about here on sanding this, you'll understand why it went that way. The wheel on the bottom would be kind of like this one, and the four wheels here would be working it in a flat mode like this. The internal spring here is going to work on the backstroke, and the forward spring is going to be working on pushing. And I'm going to show that with the strap sander and the sanding bar or rasp sander combo, as you might know it. Okay, so let's get started with the first reason why I would do it. Now, this is the profile sander here, and I used, on this particular instance, I'm going to be using hook and loop sand paper, not the mesh version that you see right here, which is what I would normally use. But I want to show it in this case here. And I have spiraled the adhesive hook onto the profile sander here. And I've spiraled it backwards along the other way this way. So now, as you can see, I've got a limit by which it can flex. Whereas with this version, this is a hook and loop version, mesh loop. I can put it straight off like this, wrap it like that, and now that loop, it might flex a little bit here, but I get plenty of ability to apply, to allow it to conform, okay? So I just wanted you to see that in both of them. And then, of course, this is just a little bit of the history. There is something on this. Of course, all jigsaws were too soft for it. So the very first thing I did was I held it by my hand like this, and I started going like this. And you could see that even on low 3-speed, it was vibrating my hand. So here I was doing it at high speed. You can see the dust is flying right there. It is operational, but it was shaking my hand quite a bit. So how do we eliminate that? Spring, spherical bearing spring, trap between two split races. You'll see that in that. So now, imagine now I'm extending it, but the spherical bearing on the inside is now going to kick in. So here we have in operation, and now my hand is quite stable. I can guide it, and I can obviously put it around like this. And of course you can see the sand, it working, sanding away. So right now I'm just going to unleash that for just a second. As again, we have the reason why I would use the flexible mesh loop versus this on hard angles. On a soft angle, this would work just fine. It is going to work fine right here, but as you see these edges, as they turn around, they may get caught in that. So the same operation. And of course you can see what I'm describing right there. That hard angle is now hitting it and it might damage it. So now let's use the same one, but now I'm going to make it a little bit softer angle. I'm not going to do it as hard, but this way I'm going to be using the wheelbase, and I'm just going to apply pressure, because here I could apply pressure it is working, but I want to get into that spot right down there. So here I'm just going to apply that extra pressure, and you can hear it as that pressure gets locked in, right? See? So that is what I'm talking about right there. So I wanted to show that on hard angle with maybe open surfaces, that's very likely going to happen, which is why I usually prefer that type of sandpaper. So I wanted that to be very very clear on the understanding that the profile sander will do that. But now let's head over to the fact that this will work inline or with that spherical bearing, okay? So I'm saving the sandpaper there. So here I am in free rotation mode on this side, and now I'm in line, and I'm going to work this way like this, and you're going to see that the damping handle is going to receive the charge and my hand will stay stable. So obviously you can see that this is doing its business. It's keeping me stable, and I'm able to go around like that. So there we have the external spring right here that's receiving the strokes, or the spherical bearing on top that is receiving the strokes. Now let's switch over to the internal one with the strap sander. And the same thing goes to play here. This is much more flexible than the profile sander, so I really recommend always using mesh sandpaper for this. This one's already taken a good dose, and nothing prevents you from putting it on the front and the back of that as well. So you can use the strap sander with both sides just like this and still get. And I like to work in free rotation mode with the strap sander. It's just a little bit easier for me to manipulate. And I set up my obstacle course here. So round object. Right here we have the problematic, and here I'm just going to show that now you're going to see that I could work backwards like this, or I can work at an angle like this. And so I'm just going to do it like this, and you're going to see the rear spring get into that. And obviously you can see that my hand is stable at that as well. And of course, you can see how effective that will be. Just like that. So there is, let's just say 80 grit on one side, and then you would flip it over, and there's 120 if you want. I get a lot of plumbers saying I could use that on my the copper pipes. I agree you could, although I would probably say it may not really make sense to have it on the power tool unless you have 100 pipes that you're doing at once. The Grip 360 manual handles will do just fine. So there you can see the strap sander doing its business on the internal spring. And now, a little note about those springs. They will be available for, if they start wearing out, we will be able to supply those spherical bearings, any of these accessories. Now let's get over into something that I like as well, and this is the sanding bar right here. Or I'm sorry, this is the rasp sander combo, and the sanding bar is right here, and I've already kind of set it up in a way. I was playing with it earlier. Here you have just a normal implement that you could use to get into and around stuff, but we're talking about the damping handle, and that's what this was about. So let's go ahead and just put 180 grit sandpaper right here, and now I'm going to protect the hook side, and I'm just going to put, this is a PVC with just a little bit of the loop, adhesive loop back right here, and that's put onto it. So now I'm in free rotation mode and I'm sanding. And so here you can see that I can sand like this. And apply pressure. Does this meet some requirement or something that you need? Maybe, maybe not. Will you ever use it like this? It depends. I've seen Aaron Moore with Moore's Refinishing. He's using it on inside a cabinet. Sometimes that's there. Sometimes you need that extra force on that tip. But I can tell you, we made this at 10 millimeter shank, robust enough that even on this end, you wouldn't need to have that much pressure on that. So that is the damping handle with its abilities to apply pressure. We can even, as I was just playing with it just a minute ago, you can take this and there's some hook and loop, and now I've turned it something solid into a brush there, you know. So if you had to have a wire brush or something, this could easily, still do that. So the transformative effect of applying pressure onto something and the ability to apply focused local attention with the damping handle. As you can see, the system is about controlling the distal end, frontal distal end, and we're sending the energy with the power tool, and we are controlling and directing that energy on a flexible medium like this profile sander or that strap sander or even rigid. So all of this kind of works together. It's really the first time, and there's a reason why there are 3 Pro Tool Innovation Awards here. Of course, the Quick Connect system is fabulous, and the damping handle just gives us an added ability to get around spindles on staircases or get through something or have that ability to work with our 2 hands, which is what God gave us. So let's use them. And let's use them with power. So I hope that is a good enough explanation for the damping handle, and I will see you on the next deep dive. Thank you.